Okay, some more problems from section 4.1. You'll need a calculator on some of these. And number 29, we want to convert it from degrees to radians, and they want you to round the answer to 2 decimal places, I believe. Yes. So again, we're going to use our conversion factor. So we've got degrees. So how many radians are there? Pi radians. And how many degrees? 180 degrees. And see your units to check out, so that's going to pretty much help you out there. Now this one isn't too bad. You could actually do this without a calculator, because remember what pi is. So 18 goes into 180 10 times, so it's actually pi divided by 10 radians. And pi is 3.14159. If we divide that by 10, if you divide by 10, you just move the decimal point one place to the left. So you get approximately 0.31. And that's all you have there. And that's in radians. Pardon me, radians. So that's not too bad. Okay, and then number 31. Again, we'll multiply this by, remember there are pi radians. Always write this down, per 180 degrees. And we'll probably have a quiz on some of these, and probably the ones that you can work out without a calculator. Well, negative times a positive, that will be a negative. And I've got 40 over 180 times pi. The degrees will cancel, and that'll be radians. And then I can work that on my calculator. Here's kind of a basic trig calculator you should have. And we could take, don't worry about the negative sign is going to be there. And I could cancel the zeros here. 0 over 0 is, that's just like by 10. So I can just say 4 divided by 18 equals, and then I can multiply that times pi, times, and I can, pi is, some of these calculators have pi on there. If they don't, you can just multiply times 3.14159, enter, and 0.69, and if we round that off, it's about 0.70. So it's approximately, this is an approximate sign, 0.70. Okay? And then another one, 200 degrees. So again, we'll multiply the 200 degrees by pi radians per 180 degrees. So the degrees will cancel. And this isn't too bad. The zeros cancel, so I've got 20 over 18 times pi radians. You could even simplify that more, but since we're going to do it with a calculator, we could just leave it like that. You could reduce that to be 10 over 9. Okay, so we're going to take this, our calculator, and let's say 20 divided by 18. And then I'm going to multiply that times pi times 3.14159. And I get 3.49. And that's all we need there. And that's in radians. So that'd be about 3 point. And we use approximation because we are rounding off. Approximately 3.49 radians. All right? And there's my pi right there. I could have used that also, just in case you didn't have it. Okay, then the last three here, I think, on number 35. We wanted to convert from radians to degrees, and the same thing, round off. It says convert each angle in radians to degrees, round to 2 decimal places. So we've got 2 radians, and we're just going to flip it. There's 180 degrees per pi radians. Okay? And it's one over the other, and we just want these radians to cancel, so that's why we're going to put the radians in the bottom. It's 180 degrees pi radians, one on the top, one on the bottom, and you just want to make sure those cancel. And I've got 2 times 180 is 360 degrees divided by pi, and that's going to give me my degrees. And let me use my pi function here now, since I found it. Clear? So I'll just take 360. I think it was 360 divided by pi. So 360 divided by pi. That equals 114.59, that rounds off, so that would be 114, excuse me, 114. That's approximately 114.59, and that's still just in degrees because the radians canceled. Okay? Number 37 was pi over 13 radians. So I'll multiply that by 180 degrees per pi radians. And we can see what cancels. Well, the radians cancel. That leaves us just with the degrees, and so do the pi. The pi's cancel. So we just have 180 divided by 13. 180 degrees divided by 13. And that's going to be approximately, get out my trusty calculator here, clear that, 180 divided by 13, and that's about 13.85, because that rounds off, 846, so it's about 13, that's curious, 13 point, and that's approximately 85, and that's all that's left of degrees. So your units check. And the last one, negative. So we'll have negative because that will cancel out. And we know that there are 180 degrees per pi radians. As long as you carry your units out, then you're not going to mix this up. Sometimes people just mix it up if they don't put the units there. You can't go wrong. Radians at top, cancel the radian bottoms. So we have negative, and I'm going to have to multiply 4.8 times 180. I guess I could write it over here. Equals negative 4.8 times 180 degrees divided by pi. Okay, so I'll get my calculator out and do this. Shouldn't be real difficult. And you can just add the negative sign afterwards, so 4.8. Okay, hope you can see that there. Is that okay? Okay, 4.8 times 180, 180, enter. And then I'll divide that pi divided by pi. And there's your answer, 275. And it's going to be negative because I have a negative. That's going to be approximately, pardon me, and that's going to be 275 point, and that rounds off 0.2. And that'll be in degrees. Okay? So if that makes sense, make sure you have a calculator. Shouldn't be any problems. Hope that helps. Remove this from me. See all those calculations. Again, carry your units because that makes it a lot easier so you won't make any errors.